Borrowed the money for what? They wanted to use the money for infrastructures. Somehow, people were able to raise alarm. Emefiole couldn't do it. Cardo is here today. In the name of defending the Nigerian Naira, they were arresting BDCs, okay? Then, they reissued licenses to them. Then they went borrowing, where they took more than $4 billion on loan. Then they went into Nigerian Foreign Reserve. They took another 2.3 billion. All of this, in fact, hang on, the first 4 billion, they said they were defending Naira. What were they doing? Artificially. They were issuing dollars out so that they can create liquidity. The liquidity that is not coming from any sales made by Nigeria. The forex was not earned through exchange. It was a borrowed money. Okay? So instead of you giving that money to people, your friends, importers, oil importers as you call them, instead of giving the borrowed money to them, why not just use that money? $4 billion plus the 2 billions they took from the foreign reserve, $6 billion. If they invest those $6 billion without corruption in the last 12 months alone, right? $12 billion invested in power, in your refineries. Somebody like myself, who can see it fact for fact that this money is actually going into all these places. There is no amount of I don't like them, that we deny that fact if it happens, right? And now we can begin to monitor and say, well, you see, at least all this whole thing that is happening now, by December, Nigeria should have more than 20,000 megawatts of electricity. And in truthfulness, right, Nigeria, about 4 Nigerian refineries will begin to work because we've seen evidence that more than $6 billion were genuinely invested in them. But none of this happened. This money was shared. It was shared for people demanding for dollars. Nigeria is import-dependent country. Nigeria imports more than 80% of what it consumes. And because of this, Nigeria Naira suffers. It suffers so much that it has to look for dollars for these traders. So the government has said they are flowing the Naira, which means if you have dollars, sell. If I want to buy dollars and you have Naira, here you get now. So we can exchange at whatever. So they said the market forces will determine how much Naira and dollar we exchange for. All for words, just word of mouth. In behind the scene, they were dipping Nigeria into debts. They were. $6 billion down the drain just to bring Nigeria Naira from 1,900 Naira to $1 to bring it down to 1,100 Naira to $1. Artificially, they did that for 6 weeks. 6 weeks and $6 billion gone. Now they need more money because none of this money was invested in anything productive. It was just shared money for services so that they can look good to you. Then they went back to the World Bank that they needed money to fund their budget. Listen to me. They told you that Emefiole printed 27.5 trillion Naira in 8 years for Bokwari. That is equivalent of $51 billion squandered. Nobody can say this is exactly what they use it for. You know, that one is aside, being dealt with in Nigeria economically right now. Emefiole and Bokwari borrowed over another one, over $70 billion. In fact, it was actually $78 billion that was borrowed in 8 years under Bokwari, with more than 90% uncompleted projects that they said they used the money for. So Nigeria's debt jumped from 13.5 billion dollars in 2015 straight to over 100 billion dollars today. But that was the foundation laid by Bokwari. So when Tinubu came in, it took Bokwari 8 years to print 27.5 trillion naira by central bank. It has taken Cardo and Tinubu, it has taken them just 7 months to print over 10 trillion naira. They just confirmed, they said, no, we've only printed and borrowed Tinubu's government 9 trillion naira. They said it so smoothly. And you are here. You probably have no idea what they did with the money. Do you? They said it just about 2 weeks ago. Wale Edonsin came on and he said, the Central Bank of Nigeria borrowed Tinubu 9.5 trillion naira. That's a printed money. It is called ways and means. Ways and means. Now borrowed printed money. Emefiele is in court. He has been granted 300 million naira bail right now. And you know why they just granted him that bail, the former governor Emefiele? Is because they said Emefiele printed 650 million naira notes, different denominations. Okay? 650 million naira. Emefiele used 18.5 billion to print 650 million naira banknotes. So that is the new charges they are charging him for. And he got bailed on 300 million naira bail. Now, the man that printed 27.5 trillion in 8 years has been succeeded by a man that has now printed 10 trillion in 10 months. How many trillions do you think Tinubu will print before 2027? And how many billions of dollars do you think they would need to borrow to continue to put up this artificial defense of Naira, when you and I know there is no real traceable factual investment in the real sector that could actually help you improve your production and exports, and you can earn forex without borrowing it? How many of you can tell me how much billions of dollars we needed to be borrowed to defend the Naira? And how much of it will needed to be printed as well by 2027? Because as it is going now, it is like Nigeria Naira to dollar is going to reach 2027 before the rest of you. Yes. Today it is 1,500 and some says 1,500 and 520 naira. Some says 530 naira. Others saying like 500 and 1,551 naira. 1,550 naira. I said, on Jore Geni, it go reach 2027 before the rest of us. And the way it is going, the hyperinflation that will eat Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen, you will feel it in California. You're gonna feel it in Glasgow. And that is why when they are talking about alliance here and there, some of you will need to understand what you are up against. But let me gist you. And you shouldn't be surprised, okay? Right. From what we have now gathered, they said that Tinubu and his gang, which is what they are capable of, okay? Thank you. Booyega. So Tinubu and his gang, they have appointed coordinators. 4+4, renewed hope. Are you hearing me? 4+4, renewed hope. 2027. They have appointed coordinators in every local government area in Nigeria. And I'm talking about 774 local government areas of Nigeria. They have appointed coordinators in the 36 states. Tinubu has succeeded in appointing his APC, Egbekebe's members, as INEC returning officers. Tinubu has rewarded the judges who ensured that all evidence of rigging, of perjury, of forgery against Tinubu's drug career, proving court evidence, heroin trafficking career, the judges that ensured that all these evidences were declared non-valid, non-admissible. These judges have been promoted. Their family members have been promoted. Others have been given their own different appointments. By 2027, every institution in that contraption, they will resemble Tinubu that you want to fight. So if you are doing alliance, it is always ideal to ask you if you know what you are really up against. Is it going to be a preparation for real revolution? Or it's just going to be one of those fist stamping, voice raising, and all this chest thumping moments? If they try us, we'll show them kind of, because they will try you beyond what you can ever. They will try you to your core because they have the capacity to. And you need to understand that. So that's what will be part of the chat. Okay, so the line will be open soon. So as for the Naira dollars, well, I hope they can come up with some new loan, or maybe they will have to draw some money from the foreign reserve. Apart from that, my own advice is this, and I mean it. I mean this. I'm not even trying to be petty. I mean it. My advice is that I may not be an economist, and I know these guys are doing all of this intentionally. They know what to do. Doing what is right simply means some of them would have to go to jail, and they don't want that. But this is my simple advice. Can you just let and leave the Naira alone? You know? Because there's something called stability, which is what investors want to see in your country. If Naira is going to be exchanged for 5,000 Naira to $1, let it be exchanged for 5,000 Naira to $1. If it's going to be 2,000 Naira, if it's going to be 3,000 Naira, if you see South Korean Wuhan, what is it called again? This South Korean dollar, what is it called? Is exchanged for about 1,500 or 2,000 Wuhan to $1. But South Korea is Samsung. South Korea's exports alone in a year is put at over $1 trillion on electronics, on technology, on agriculture. So they decided to devalue their money to attract investors and, to say, their exchange or their labor force and all of that is very cheap to invest in South Korea. Here you get. So whether Nigerian Naira is exchanged for 1 Naira to $1 or 5,000 Naira to $1, there's something called stability. Let those who want to look into the market say, the exchange rate is 2,500 Naira to $1. Let everything be built on that, including the salaries of workers, the wage in the country. Build it around it and stop trying to want to make Naira 1 Naira to $1. where it is a gimmick, a trick to continue to swindle the country. Because, I mean, they want to save the Naira. We want to save the Naira. Let's go borrow money. Oh, we want to save the Naira. We want to subsidize. Let us go borrow. You can never save by going into the debt that you can never pay. Your people will pay, and that's just poverty. I don't know if my advice is going to work for them. Stability matters. Somebody pick up the papers now, an investor looking at the whole market and all of that. They say Nigeria Naira is now gaining. When somebody took it from 510 Naira official exchange rate to 1,900 Naira to $1, then he decided to go and borrow money to share to his friends to reduce the pressure of demand by being the ones to now, give them artificial liquidity. I mean, it doesn't make sense, does it? So let it find its level. Instead of trying to save Naira by dipping people in further generational poverty, let the Naira fall and find its level. Then go back to your own country, your own economy or drawing board, and build your economy around it. Make minimum wage 1.5 million Naira. Is that too much? It's not. Yeah, 1.5 million Naira minimum wage. Let ordinary workers earn 5 million Naira a month, 10 million Naira a month, so that they can match whatever it is that is being brought into the country. Then tax the system along that line. Stop trying to impress everybody like that. I mean, you cannot have a country where the Naira to dollar is 1,500 and something Naira, where most of your imports depends on this. Naira can be 1,800, can be 3,000, can be 5,000. No smart marketer will lose any sleep because they will just put the whole thing on you. You will pay for it. But these guys have no plan, of course. And no matter how much we try to make sense, a normal Abobaku will prefer Wale Edonsin, Cardo, and all these scammers with their sweet mouth and what they are telling them. But in reality, they are asking themselves, how come that everything is still hard? Why is everything? What is the government doing? Government, do something. Government, please do something. They won't do jack shit, mate. Your minimum wage is still going to be 40,000, I'll be 45,000. How is that going to help? So that's what they won't do. To them, spending that money on you to build the economy around that until the entire system will begin to kind of recover to a full production, full productivity. But there is no plan for that. They are just, they are rent takers or rent seekers. They want to take everything they can. They are continuing with Emefiole's policies. If you have opened your eyes, if you have paid attention, that's what they are continuing with. Emefiole's policies, because it's so easy. It's like a plan to defraud the country and get away with it. It's like planning to get away with murder. You understand that now? That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. And the end goal is going to be the same thing. Disastrous. Then they push it back to you and tell you, you need to sacrifice. We must try and sacrifice. Anyway, I'll go to another one where I want to remind you this afternoon. It is that of the rivers Wahala. Okay. So to those who probably have one or two things to say on that, I do have a few things to share. Just kind of like an push update. Fubara called Werewike a giant Gary eating rat. That's what he called him. And that has generated a lot of reactions on social media, of course. Okay. But he had Alex Otto with him yesterday. Now he has called another guy, the one that said Fubara will be nothing or nobody if not for Wiri Wike that made him governor. He got that like Wiri Wike that made him made Fubara governor. Fubara would have been just an ordinary level 14 civil servant. Well, the guy don't reply. He called him a drug addict or something like that. Hi, Wiri Wike.
I told them Ibas is a quiet man. He's a Christian, born again Christian. I am not a born again Christian. I'm a Christian, but not a born again Christian. I told Ibas when they slapped me, I told here. Me, if you slap me here, I don't know what I will survive the other one. I'll blow your head off.
If you push me, I'll push you. Touch me, I will touch you. Nice.
That's Wike. And Fubara described one of his lieutenants as a drug addict in this world. I mean, in his words.
What? God is with us. Yes. Don't allow anybody to deceive you. I had one drug addict telling people that I would have been in level 14 or level 15. You know, when you don't know people, you talk carelessly. And when you're already high, what do you expect? If in 2010, I was a chief accountant level 13, those of you who know the civil service, where will I be before 2023? So when you see people, because you want to impress your paymaster, you talk carelessly. But I won't reduce myself to that kind of talk. I am the only governor in this state that, in the whole federation, where drug addicts as local government chairman will come and abuse, I take it. Oh. I'm the only person that, I mean, people that can't even talk to me, that they call them honorable members. I don't know what makes them honorable. For you to be honorable, there are a lot of qualities that people will see. Being honorable is not lying. Being honorable is not. As a matter of fact, for one to be called honorable, you need to live a honorable life. Mm. But I wish them well. I wish them well because even if it's a mistake, by the special grace of God, I'm here today. So God doesn't make mistake. And let me also appeal to them. Let them continue to make mistake. So that I'll continue to be where I am. Finish what I want to do for you people. Live with a good name. Yes. And my children and my great-grandchildren will be proud of me. Amen. That is the mistake I want them to be making.
So wait for Wiri Wike's men. First, this one, okay?
years old man.
So those are the men that Fubara was referring to, okay, who made them honorable. Now are they honorable and all that stuff. But that's Rivers. I'm going to leave you to that, to my callers, to those of you who have one or two things to say.